everybody, it's Amy at Crafty Cat. So what we're going to do today is put some tissue over this cover like I mentioned before, since I horribly let it get kind of paint spatters and ink and whatever else on it. Normally this is something you would probably do in the beginning, but since I didn't know what I wanted to do, I have the piece of fabric that's going to go down the spine. You can see this thing is totally wacky because it's so fat. And I do like them fat, but the thing with this to know is don't squeeze it. It's not like one of those soft journals that can kind of envelop around it because it'll break the binding. But anyhow, that is that. We have our little piece all dry and ready to go. And then, so I'm just going to basically take pieces of this and put it on here. Wherever it hangs over, I'm going to cut it off when it's dry. I'm going to wait till it's dry so that it doesn't rip weird on the front. Then I'll probably just do some inking. I don't really want to try to cover this in here because then I know I'm going to get it on, you know, this inside part, and I just don't want that. So, but you totally can, if you're smart, do this first. Wrap it around, get it all dry, and then do this part. I didn't know what I wanted to do with this. I really thought I wanted to leave it alone, but like I said, I messed up and, you know, got stuff on there. So that's totally my fault. Be smarter than me. But these are all things we do when we're making journals, and so I guess this is a good lesson for people that are new, right? What not to do. I'm always good for that lesson, what not to do. Because I do kind of tend to sometimes make a mess, which I'm also very good at. I'm going to put a piece of paper in there, because as you can see, I'm already getting it all over. So how y'all doing? I hope you are all fabulous and staying warm, cool, etc., whatever the case may be in your area. It has cooled down here already a bit, but this weekend it's supposed to get quite a bit cooler. So we shall see what that's like. We're going to go to it's a band competition, and my daughter's playing in it, but she's not competing because it's for the high schools. Her band, her high school is competing. Her old high school is competing in it, along with a lot of local and out of the area high schools. But they always come to the college that she's at, and her band will play for them. So it's really awesome to see, because the younger kids get real excited about this particular band. It's like her college, and it's why she chose it, has the largest marching band in the area, and so they all like to go watch them. And they get very excited and screaming, and I've talked about it before. It's an every year thing that we've done every year when our kids were in high school and now college. So yeah, it's super fun. It's fun to see how excited the younger kids get. And, you know, our kids were no different. They got very excited too, and they went as high school students. Because that college marching band is really something. It's Boise State, if you guys don't know. They're a pretty big marching band. I mean, of course, band never gets the credit that the athletes do, but I wish they did, because I think they deserve it. They work their heinies off. It's kind of unfair, but that's a whole nother topic. So yeah, I'm excited to go do that. And I think we're gonna go with a friend and have some dinner. And my Husband's birthday is coming up, so we're gearing up to celebrate that. The years just go by way too fast now. Oh, it's so insane. I mean, I've felt like years go by fast always, but it just seems really bad. Well, when I was young, I didn't, because I felt like it took forever to get from Christmas to Christmas. You guys feel like that? But now I feel like we celebrate Christmas every other day, practically. I don't know why it feels that way. Even my kids have said they feel that way, and they're young. Like, I guess when you get old, or older, whatever, you start to feel that way, and that's normal, but I feel like my kids have been saying that for a long time. So I'm not sure why it feels like that, but it does. I think life is just crazy. We're all always very busy. My favorite really is when nothing's going on. That's how bad I am. I'm a real homebody though, so. Okay, sorry, just, kind of concentrating here because I kind of messed this up a little bit. I mean, nothing major, but when you're coming over that edge, definitely kind of take your brush and go in the spine of the book. That'll just help you get that paper in there, and hopefully it will stay in there and not make a weird bubble. And I'll be inking the whole thing afterwards. I think I'm going to add a few of these leaves here and there, but like this is going to take up most of the cover. So I only want, kind of a leaf maybe here and there on the cover, and then put most of the rest of them on the back. These are the same leaves that I used yesterday. They're just printed on, or not printed, stamped on the tissue using Tim Holtz Distress Oxide inks. So yeah. You guys have any fun things coming up? I don't know exactly what we're going to do for Thanksgiving. I think we might have some of the band students here, just depending on their need, if they need to be, because there's a game close to Thanksgiving and they're not going to be able to go home. So yeah, I happily have some of them here. Can't fit the whole band, but now this is going to be a little tricky because this is Distress Oxide, which obviously reacts when it gets wet, right? I mean, it's been dry for a while. I made this when I started the journal, so, but I just don't want to rub too hard on that and spread it all over the place, A little's fine. So there's a nice little leaf. Put another one maybe up higher. And then this will just have to sit and dry. Sorry, I know this isn't the best angle in the whole wide world. It's just this book is not going to lay any kind of flat, so. Nowhere near flat, I'm afraid. So hopefully you can see okay. I always use too much of this stuff, I'm telling you. Decoupage is probably not my gift. Struggle a bit with it. You can see I've got some air under there, and I don't want that. Those are on there pretty good. I was worried about them running, but they're not even budging. Okay. I think that's good for leaves there. I'm gonna get this dry and then I'll come back. And I apologize, it's just, I don't want to flip it onto its other side when it's this wet, you know, because I don't want it sticking to my board, but I'll be right back. Okay, I am back and it is dry. I added a couple pieces of Tim Holtz tissue as well because I wanted to let that dry, obviously, so I wasn't going to come on, do that, and go back off again because already I'm going to be starting and stopping. So we're going to tip it like this and do across the spine the same sort of thing. I will be adding a piece of fabric on there. It is right here, and it will just go across that, just so you don't see the writing, really, is what I was going for. And this is just little bits of fabric stitched together. So I just kind of stack them on top of each other and then stitch them all together. A lot of times I think I did, yeah. This one here with the writing on it, I don't know how well you guys can see it, but anyhow, it was one long strip. And then I just added things on top of it, and I did put some, as you can see, behind because I wanted them hanging out on the sides. So that's all that is. Sorry, I'm kind of out of breath because I just went for a walk and it was pretty toasty. So I kind of got out of breath well, I have this big hill that I go up because obviously that's the point of going for a walk, right? I'm sorry, I'm looking for my paintbrush that I brought back up here. And my Pepsi. So yeah, I was kind of sucking wind there for a second and then came up my stairs right after. But it was fun. I like doing that. And I don't know why I get out of the habit because I really do enjoy walking. It's just one of those things, you know how you do. You get out of it and then you don't feel like starting it. It's usually winter when I get out of it because so I really started at the wrong time, but anyway, I'm going to try to keep up with it as long as I can. But anyways, and then by the time the weather gets nice again, I just don't feel like doing it. Even though it's beautiful out. But I'm going to try to either do that or do my treadmill, one of the two. Just a little bit. So anyhow, I hope you guys are all doing good. I hope everybody's healthy. I've been hearing that, I think it's mostly kids, but lots of respiratory illnesses, which is concerning, but understandable after everybody had to wear masks for so long. Our immunity kind of goes in the toilet when we do that. But that's no good. Be a rough school year if everybody's getting sick all the time. That's why, man, once they said we were done with masks, I was like, I'm out. Told my kids to do not wear them unless you have to. Like my daughter had to sometimes for college. But my allergies were awful. Even just after, like, I think we only really had to wear them everywhere for like 3 months here in Idaho, I think it was. It kind of went back and forth. You know, they'd say, oh, you don't have to unless the store or restaurant or whatever it is says you do, kind of thing. And then it would be like you get a bad breakout and they'd say, okay, you have to wear your masks again all the time. And kind of it was that kind of thing. And But it was just really the first 3 months of COVID when it was really strict here. Of course, the schools were different. The kids had to wear more at school. And then like my kids at work, my son had to wear his a long time at work. But the only saving grace is that the other places you go and you don't have to wear them, it allows your immunity to stay up. And, you know, there were necessities for it, and nobody wants to get other people sick. So, you know, especially people that have real serious health problems. So, anywho, that's the way that works. Okay, I'm gonna lay it like this now. Not that this is very good either. It's just really, I do want to put a piece of this on because I do like this big flying whatever this bug is that's on this Tim Holtz paper, tissue paper. Oh, I need to put that back in. I need to cover my last few pages still, but I think I will probably do that on my own. And then the next time you see this journal, it will be for a flip through sometime next week. And then we'll probably be moving on mainly to Christmas. I'll still do a few other things here and there because I know not everybody does Christmas, obviously. And also it just gets kind of, wow, overload, if you're like me anyway. So, but there probably will be lots of Christmas. 'Tis the season, right? Which I do love Christmas and celebration. I just get overwhelmed very easily, so. I don't love the commercialness of it, but it seems that's kind of the way almost everything is now. So, don't think you can really get away from it a whole lot. I don't even have a huge family, and I don't know why I get overwhelmed, but I do. I think it's because it's just everywhere and everything for quite some time. And then, of course, there's presents, and sometimes when you don't know what to get people, it's stressful, and yeah. You guys know. Y'all know if you celebrate. Preaching to the choir, right? And the money. It's always the money. I don't know what I want to put. Just regular, I think. Down here. Having one of those days where I feel like I need music going or something. I should play like classical or something that is copyright free. When I have lots of things to talk about, I don't think about it as much, but when I don't, it's kind of rough. Okay, what else do I want to put on there? Another leaf, I think. Need another piece of this, maybe. Bigger piece. Let's see, okay. It's Sorry it's so sideways. I just don't know what I can even do about that, because it's just real sideways. I'll go this way. So I'm sure I probably could have done this whole back part too without you guys, and you probably would have been happy. It's sort of like once you've seen a few pieces of tissue go on, you've seen them all, right? This one over here. I do like the texture on the front. It's a real, I mean, it'll definitely be very guarded as far as if you got a few drops of water on it, it probably would just be fine. I mean, obviously we're not taking our books out in the rain, so. Put another leaf up here. And then I'll put another piece of Tim Holtz down at the bottom so it sort of goes together a little bit more. Oh, big old bubble in there. Don't want that. I know you're supposed to go from the center out, and I always don't do that. And then I wonder how I get bubbles, right? And it just doesn't want to stick right there. It must be drier than I thought. Now it's going to stick. There's not really a very good divot right there anymore because it's such a fat spine I got going on that thing. I know it's very buggy, right? I don't have any Tim Holtz ones with mushrooms. I don't think there are any. That would be really cool though, wouldn't it? Some of his tissue with the mushrooms. If you guys know of any, let me know. I don't think it's a thing, but it could be. I'm not exactly up on the latest thing. Sorry if you can hear my stomach rumbling around. I ate. I've decided I drink this drink called Daily Greens at lunch a lot of the time, and for some reason it just makes my stomach not do anything bad, but it just grumbles around a lot. So it doesn't hurt or anything else. It's just it makes all kinds of noise. So I apologize if you hear it. Okay, so again, I'm going to pause the camera and we're going to dry. Okie dokie, so I am back, and I did start removing the edges back here just to make sure I knew how I wanted to do this. So it's working pretty good. I've just been taking my blade or these itty bitty scissors and going around and getting rid of as much of this as I can. I'm also taking my glue and gluing it, like right here. It needs a little more because, you know, when you decoupage, it doesn't always every little edge stick 100%, so you just got to kind of mess with it. But that's the back, which I love very much. I did add this piece up here, but yeah, that looks good. And then once we get the topper on the front, it's gonna look real good. But all I'm doing basically is going along and kind of slicing this off. I did try, so I know everybody's probably like, why don't you just lay it flat and cut it? Well, I did try that, but because of the way the bend of the book is, I'm afraid I'm going to, well, it's working pretty good right here, but I don't want to cut the book, if you see what I'm saying. Like, you know, I don't want to cut that part. So I'm just trying very hard to not do that. The sanding helps because then you can get rid of any of those little kind of pointy edges. So I'm sorry if anybody's bored. I totally understand. You can move along for the day or whatever. I just want to show some of this stuff because I know there's new people that aren't going to you know how to do this. Not that I necessarily really know either. This is the first time I've done one like this. So it's kind of just do it. You know, that's honestly what I can say about journal making. Most of our supplies, like this is a dollar store book, and yes, it would kill me because I've put so many hours into it, but it happens sometimes where either you can't fix it or many more times you can. So you just gotta kind of do stuff. I don't know how else to say. There's no tried and true that I've found. I mean, there are certain things obviously that work better than others, but a lot of journal making is just trial and error and just going for it, basically. Because most of our supplies are pretty inexpensive. You're only using, you know, a portion of a package of paper or whatever. Am I cutting? Okay, I just want to make sure I wasn't cutting the book. I can see I need a new blade because this one's just not really doing it. But most everything's fairly inexpensive that you're going to use. Most of the problem, obviously, like I said, is the hours that go into, and there are a lot of those. So, but just do it. Just do it. And the only way to get better at a lot of it is just by doing it. Like everything in life. I know I'm probably scaring everybody because me and a blade is probably not the best choice in the world. I'm going to put a little glue under there because that's lifted. Whoa, that was a lot of glue, not a little glue. That spout on that thing is still acting crazy. No matter what I do to it. I've even been cleaning it off and the little pin off with like these alcohol wipe things I have every day just to try to keep it from getting clogged. That needs to go. Or stay, as the case may be. Let's use this. Sandpaper helps a lot because it will let you just get the edge usually, and plus it softens the edges so they're not rough or whatever. I mean, especially where you're getting the wrinkles, you are going to get a little roughness here and there. But I think that's pretty good. And this is my little vacuum. Funny, funny. All right. So I am going to ink it a bit around the edges because that's the way I want it. But if you don't want yours inky, then don't ink it. So yeah, by the time you guys see this again, it will be the flip through. I just have those back pages I need to cover, and they're probably gonna just be basically covered. I might do like a little corner collage or something, but that's it, because it is too thick for words at this point. It really kind of has a leathery look, but that's pretty normal with decoupage, I think. I don't do a ton of decoupage, but it's good and covered. Oh, we need to put our little spine cover on as well. I do like that Tim Holtz paper on there. See, this one's going to be a little easier because I will come in and cover it now that it's got the backing on and everything and inking done. It's just easier to finish before rather than after, like I did it. But I could not decide what I wanted to do. So, I mean, really until I started doing it, I probably should have just done it to begin with, but I didn't, so that's how that goes. Alright, so we need our topper, and we need our little spine cover. So let's put that on. And I'm going to use Aleene's tacky glue. Do I want it that way or the other way? I think this way. Don't know why. It just told me it wanted to go that way. It's really just to cover the writing, which had I known I was going to do this, I probably could have covered the writing another way, but that's fine. It'll add a nice interest on there. Oops. It long enough? Barely. Barely. This evenly, hopefully. Okay, I think that's good. And then we'll put our topper on. I'm going to drag that off of there. Those are a little too long. I like it when they stick out though. Maybe not all the exact same length, but I need to sign it too, but I'll do that on the back pages once I get it all covered. Yeah, my heavy duty sewing machine by Singer It does really well with a denim needle. It goes right through stuff like this, cardboard and all that, without any problem whatsoever. Doesn't love glue. That's its only dilemma. I've used like some glue backed felt before, like sticky, almost like a sticker for a cover. Does not like that. But other than that, I've never had any issues with that sewing machine. This is kind of an interesting thing because it is curling up away from the book. And I can't like put anything on top of it to make it stay down on the book. Maybe some clamps? I don't know if they'll even reach. Let's see. Why? That looks like something my kids would do. My son mostly. There were little these hung over these. They're dusty. They've been clipped there for a while. That gives me extra hands. He was just trying to scooch away from it. It's like, no, you need to be on there. I really like the way. Oh, I forgot to tell you guys. I did go back with my Stabilo All pencil. This Stabilo All. I don't know if you can see it, but anyway, A-L-L. S-T-A-B-I-L-O-A-L-L. Water soluble. It's almost like a watercolor marker or pencil, and I just went in there and went around all the edges just to make that kind of pop out a little bit. So that is something I did do without you guys, because you know, you get looking at something and you're like, it needs this or that, so I did that. Alrighty, so I think that is our cover. I really, really like this a lot, how it ended up. Even though it's a big fatty 2x4, which is great. It's just you have to know as the owner of it, you can't squish it because it will ruin the binding. So whoever ends up with it, just know that it's a shelf sitter. I mean, definitely write in it for sure, but it definitely is just a shelf sitter, because I don't think it'd be good to squish it at all. It's pretty fortified now though with all that glue on the outside. Alrighty, so I hope you guys like how it's coming along. Like I said, the next time you see it, it will be the flip through, because it's finally it's pretty much done. It's just these few pages at the back that need covering, and that needs collaged or something like the front. So yeah, alrighty, I will talk to you guys again tomorrow. Love you guys. Bye.